Alright, hello everyone, this is Dozer, and what we have here is the Powertec Rack, I believe, and I bought it from a gym owner who was closing down his gym, and I got it for $250, and he had already painted those numbers on there for the pins. Alright, now in this video, I'm going to show you how to put band pegs on your Powertec Rack. I need some band pegs on here because I have bands, obviously, as you can see, and I need the band pegs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the existing holes, and I'm just going to put new bolts in there that are longer and use some PVC pipe. I'm going to go over all the materials that you're going to need, and that's what we're going to do. And just so I don't get a lot of questions, I'm just going to cover some other stuff real quick about the gym that you see here. It's just a small little home gym. This is where I do my main heavy lifting. I do all my accessory stuff at another gym, Planet Fitness. Yes, you heard right. My wife has a member at Planet Shitness, so that's where I go to do all that stuff. Now, the flooring is the regular horse stall matting. I got it from the Tractor Supply store here in my town. It's 4x8. And then I have 1-inch subflooring, 4x8 underneath that. So, right there, what you're looking at is the Rogue Fitness Econ Power Belt. I purchased that, I believe it was like 50 bucks. And I got some Rogue bands, and I got some other bands that aren't even made for powerlifting or anything. But I had those. And so, okay, so now you know about all that. Let's get back to what we're really here for. So, I'm going to go ahead and show you the materials now. Alright, so here's the bottom of the rack. Alright, and we are going to be removing that bolt, which I already have, and that one over there. Those are the ones I'm going to be replacing with longer bolts to make my band pegs. Those bolts will be covered with PVC pipe. Alright, I'm going to go over all the materials like I said. But first you're going to need to remove your bolts, alright? And to remove mine, I used a 19 millimeter on the nut, and the other side was a 21 millimeter. So you're going to want to remove those. I already got one removed. You will be using one of these washers, alright? So once you get those removed, let's talk about the materials. Now once you have your bolt out, you're going to want to measure how long you want your band peg to be. So you're going to want to measure from here, alright? You're going to want to take into account the thickness of your washers, however that doesn't really matter. I just looked at mine and said, you know what, I want 7-inch band pegs. They do have 8 and 9-inch bolts at Lowe's, alright? So it's up to you. I went with a 7-inch bolt, and those are the ones I purchased. Alright, so let's go over the materials. My rack came with the 1/2-inch diameter bolt, and I believe it's like 3.5 inches long. The length doesn't really matter. What matters is the diameter of this shank is 1/2 inch, okay? So I bought 1/2 inch diameter bolts that are 7 inches long, because that's the length I wanted. You can choose whatever length you want. I got all these materials are from Lowe's, alright? And I got the 4 locking nuts, alright? They got the nylon or whatever that material is on the inside so that it can lock on and it won't come unscrewed, alright? And I got 4 1/2-inch washers. And as I said, you will be using a washer from here, and I'll show you that shortly. Alright? The material numbers are right here, as you can see. 63378, 63406, and 63309. So what the hell does that mean? Well, let's look at my phone here as I bring up my phone. So I took a picture of the wrong thing here, so you can call this an epic fail. But just replace that 1/2 inch by 8 with a 7, because I got the 7-inch. And that 63379 would really be 63378, and this is at Lowe's, and they're like $1 something. All right. So that's the bolts that you see right there. The nuts that you see right there are right here. These are the actual ones. 63406. I got 4 of those. They are the stop nuts with the I believe it's a nylon inserts to keep the bolt onto the bolt. To keep the nut on the bolt so it doesn't fucking come off. You know what I'm talking about here, people. Alright, they're like 19 cents each. The next item is the washer. And that's the 1/2-inch washer right there, 63309 from Lowe's. Alright. The PVC pipe that I ended up getting was this one here. Besides all that stuff. Rogue Power Belt. Sorry about this. There it is. The 1/2 inch by 5 foot. You see what the hell it says, right? That's the one I got. That is this PVC pipe here that I'm going to use to cover the bolts. And you're going to see how that works shortly. Alright, you're going to need a pen, pad, maybe to write down some measurements. I got this to mark. It's a Sharpie to mark my measurements onto my PVC pipe. I'm using a pipe cutter, all right? They have big ones, small ones. I'm not even gonna use a small one, just showing you. And you can use a hacksaw, you can use a fucking flamethrower, you could fucking run it over with your car to cut it. I don't really give a shit, but I'm using this big bad boy right here, okay? So that's pretty much it as far as materials. As far as tools that you're gonna need, the heads on these are 19 millimeters all the way around. So the head on this bolt's 19 millimeters, and this is 19 millimeters. So I'm using a wrench, 19 millimeter, and a socket, 19 millimeter, for when I'm going to start putting shit together. All right. So what my next step is to cut the PVC pipe. All right. So before I do that, I'm gonna show you how this is gonna work out. So let's move to that. All right. So we need to know how long our PVC pipe is gonna be, and I'm gonna show you how to get that measurement. Take your old bolt. You're gonna need both of these washers. Here's the bolt you purchased. Put a washer on that bolt. Put the bolt through the hole. Put another washer on this end. That washer is what the PVC pipe or metal pipe or whatever the hell you're using is gonna butt up against, all right? But we need to find out how long that needs to be. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put your other washer on here, and you're gonna take this other bolt and you're gonna screw it on to about flush, all right? You don't need to be going way down here. Either way, you're gonna have all your threads in there if it's flush, okay? So you're gonna put this on, all right? I'm gonna hold it from this side, and I'm gonna use this side, and I'm basically gonna tighten it down flush. All right, so let's do that real quick. Once I'm flush, all right, you're gonna wanna pull this tight, push your washer up against there, do this. You're gonna wanna grab your tape measure, which I left way the hell over here for some odd reason, all right? And this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna push up against this washer and measure to here. Now, you don't have to be 100%. You wanna go a little bit smaller, so I'm gonna go with 3 1/4, all right? That's like a 1/16 smaller than my measurement, all right? You don't have to be all finicky about this. So that is how long. I'm gonna need a 3 1/4 inch piece of PVC pipe in there, all right? So that's how you find out how long your PVC pipe needs to be. All right, so here's my PVC pipe. I'm pretty sure you guys know how to do this, but I'm just gonna show you anyway, all right? You're gonna measure it, 3 1/4, and I'm gonna mark it, which I already have. And then you're gonna cut it. Like I said, to cut it, I'm gonna use this thing here. Basically, it's a pipe cutter. I'm gonna open it. I'm gonna stick my thing in there like this, because we all like sticking our thing in things. All right. You're gonna wanna line up the black mark with your blade. Start to tighten it. Once you get it on there, you just wanna give it a nice little snugness, all right? You don't wanna crush the pipe. Then I'm gonna start twirling it like this. All right, some of you guys already know how to do this. And then I'm gonna slightly give more pressure each time. You don't wanna squeeze it down too far, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna crush the pipe, all right? So you just wanna keep turning it, all right? I can go faster than this. I'm just trying to show you guys how to do this. Keep turning it, all right? This tool I have here was like $20 at Lowe's, but I've had it for a while. I didn't just purchase this. So here we go. You guys get to see me cut a piece of PVC pipe, all right? So I'm almost finished, all right? Couple more turns here, and it's gonna hold on to it, and I can basically pull it off like this, and there you go. Wow, you just saw me cut a piece of PVC pipe. All right, boom, let's do this. Here's my bolt. Put my bolt on. Put my washer on. Put my PVC pipe on. All right, there's a little plate, but that doesn't really freaking matter. Put this on. Put my nut on. Get my nut on, y'all. All right. Pretty handy with the tools. I was an automotive technician for 4 years. Like, you guys really give a fuck about that, right? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of pull up on this, because that's what it's gonna need to be, all right? And then I'm gonna tighten it down. Now, you don't wanna super tighten it, but just get it snug. Motherfucking band peg. What do you think about that? Now, the beautiful thing, you see that? You love those fucking pajama pants? Now, the thing about this is, you can always, these bolts are so cheap, you can always, if you find out that maybe you didn't get them long enough, or maybe you want to have various ones, this shit's so easy to take apart, man, that you could just get another longer bolt, all right? So if I say, you know what, I think I want a longer bolt, they're not that expensive, I go get a longer bolt, and then we're in business. It's not rocket science. To cut your PVC pipe, you could have used this little hacksaw thing. However, a couple of notes about that. When you cut this PVC pipe, you need your cut to be straight, all right? This cut needs to be exactly flush, 90 degrees, all right? Boom. If you're in an angle, this washer is not going to butt up flat against the PVC pipe, all right? So this right here, I could use a 100-pound band on this, and I'm not going to have any damn problems with this. There is a little bit of play, all right, inside this, but since I tightened it down and I pulled it up, because what's usually going to be happening, it's going to be getting pulled on, right? So I pulled it up and I tightened it. I can loosen this, tighten this, I can freaking re-engineer it, whatever the hell I want to do, because I'm a rocket scientist. I don't know if you guys knew this, but I'm the most famous rocket scientist that ever fucking lived. So there you go. That's how you do that. Now, I also have this other little thing over here, all right? What the hell is this thing? All right, now a lot of people are saying, oh my God, you're fucking psycho, don't use that. This is a 150-pound, or I believe 100-pound test nylon rope, and I have a carabiner here. This is a 300-pound carabiner, I believe, and I was using that for bands, all right? So if you don't want to go this PVC pipe route, you can always take the rope that I have here, tie that off, make sure you know how to tie some knots, all right? Just do this at your own risk and get a strong carabiner, and you can actually clip into this with your band. Now, the most, like I said, I'm using is like 30 pounds of band force, all right? I'll do another video on how you can measure band forced. Forced. It ends with a T. I didn't know if you guys knew that, but forced ends with a T now. So there's your band peg, and I'm going to go ahead and install all of them real quick, which should only take, this is like a 10-minute job. You know what I mean? So for some of you that have never done something like this, it might be a little longer. Now what you could do, let me slide back over here, my handy dandy camera. I could have went out further on this bolt, all right? But I didn't want my band rubbing up against this other nut here from when it wraps around. I didn't want it rubbing up against it. Call me paranoid, call me whatever. So you could have used that one and the further one over there. You could use, oh shit. You could use any frickin' bolt that you want. You could do whatever you want. So there you go, band pegs. I'm gonna go put them all on and then we shall see what they look like. All right, so here are those band pegs that I made, and they have a Rogue red Monster band on there right now. All right, yes, there's many different configurations. This is for demonstration purposes only. All right, and you see that right there? That's a barbell spacer. I made that myself out of the PVC pipe you see there. And there's a link to that video right there. You see that? It just showed up on your screen. You can go watch how I made that. It's real simple. Some of you purchased those real expensively off the internet possibly. But you can paint them, do whatever you want to with them. And anyway, besides all that, here's the other side. All right, the band pegs. Now a little tip, okay? And that tip is when you're at Lowe's or wherever you may be, and you need to do this all the time, is when you are purchasing these nuts, you need to make sure you check your nuts. All right? Yes, check your nuts. You want to make sure you thread your nuts pretty much onto the bolt. Not all the way because of the locking mechanism. It's going to be kind of hard to do with your hands. But just make sure it threads on there. Because when I was at the store, I did that. I did my check. And two of the nuts I picked up, well, they wouldn't thread on properly because the internal threads of the nuts were jacked up. So there's a little tip for you on that. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, here's a link to that barbell band spacer video on how to make that. Alright, so trolls. Let's address the trolls and the COs, the Charlie Oscars, otherwise known as Captain Obvious. Alright, so things that you may say are, oh my God, you don't want to use that bolt right there. You don't want to remove that bolt. That is an integral bolt to the whole entire system. If you do, the whole fucking thing's going to fall apart and you're going to fucking explode and die. Highly fucking unlikely, okay? You see that? This bolt is holding it together, and it is mainly holding the bottom section on. This bolt would be doing the same thing, and it kind of is. It's on there kind of tight. However, you're more concerned about shearing force, all right? And the bolt is in there, so we have no problem with that. So there goes that fucking theory. Oh my God. Do not listen to this fucker. You do not want to use that thing. You will fucking kill yourself. The fucking weight will fucking fly through the ceiling and probably kill someone above you or someone outside 10 miles away. Okay? Like I said, use that motherfucker at your own risk, alright? Make sure you're using really strong test rope and a really strong carabiner. Alright? I could pull a fucking semi-truck with that bitch, alright? And like I said, I'm only using about 30 pounds dynamic effort. I'm not using this like super heavy, alright? I don't need to for my purposes. So, I don't know, what else could a troll say? Well, I guess a troll could say is, oh my God, your fucking gym looks so fucking stupid. Alright, well, post a video of yours and then we can say something. Alright, so what else could a Captain Obvious or a troll say? Oh my God, this guy's using fucking green condoms. What is this? Okay, what's under here is the original weight holder thing that was on here, and it's really sharp. So what I did was I put a sock around it, and then I used this stuff here. Alright, sorry about the lighting. It's basically for physical therapy. It's a stretchy band. You know, I like to make pants out of this. That's what I make all of my clothes out of. I make it out of that stretchy material. I don't know if you guys knew that, but I'm a stretchy pants man. And what I did was I put a sock over it, and then I put that over there because I cut myself the first day I got this rack because of this really sharp burr on here, right? I'm probably going to get new J-hooks, so that should fix that. So, if you want those to be condoms, fine. They're condoms, but they're not. What else? Another thing a troll might say, oh my God, that Rogue Fitness belt, oh, it is so gay. I mean, come on, dude. It's a single prong. Okay, some people like single prong, some people like double prong, whatever. I got a review on the belt. There's a link to that right there. Boom. It's not a review, it's really just an unboxing, how they send it packaged. So if you want to see a video on that, there you go. There's that. So I wish I had a wide angle lens so I can really just let you guys see the whole rack as far as the Bandpegs goes. That's just my lighting I'm using. Alright, it's just a frickin' halogen light with wax paper over the front. My lighting is not the best. Do what I could. Well, let's just look at some of the stuff I got here. I got some Chuck Taylors. I got a video for that. There's the link right there. I got a kind of a little review on the Chuck Taylors. So I did a little review on those somewhat. Alright. I got a homemade forearm developer. I made this in Afghanistan. Alright. It's fucking, you ain't got to go buy them motherfuckers. Just use this, go ghetto on them. You know what I'm saying? Alright. I got old school weights in here. Alright. Now, kind of go off on a tangent here, but this rack, alright? There's a lot of people that are like, oh, I don't know if this rack's going to be good enough. I don't know if it can handle my poundages. Motherfuckers, I know all you bitches aren't out there fucking squatting 800 pounds. Now, some of you are, alright? And if you are, this rack will still work. If you go watch a lot of the YouTube videos, this Powertec Rack, there are some dudes using some fucking serious poundage on this thing, and it could take a beating. You can hang chains from it. It's fucking strong, alright? So, if you're considering needing a rack, this rack is also wide at the bottom. I was kind of worried if it was going to be wide enough or not, and it's plenty wide, alright? So it's wide enough. This bench is the perfect height for me, anyway, that when I'm benching, I can put it down, I think I put it on number 5 where it's at now, and it will barely touch my chest. But that's going to depend on how wide you are, alright? So it worked out just perfectly. I was kind of worried if I was going to have to put this thing on some weights or something to give me just the right elevation for coming down to my, right near my chest. The bench that you see here is that Powertec bench. I like it. I mean, I do wish that this angled up more. It does angled up, but when I'm doing inclined bench press, it does angle up. I just wish it had more of an angle. I could probably modify that. As far as band pegs, I'm probably gonna drill a hole, alright? And if you're gonna do this, alright, if you're gonna drill a hole and make new band peg holes, alright, you're gonna want to use a piece of metal on each side. Like you see how they have this here? They have this flat piece of metal on this side and the other side. What that's going to do is it's going to increase the thickness on both sides, and it's going to also prevent you from bending the metal on here with upwards force if you're using heavy poundages. And oh, I just thought of it. Things a troll might say. Oh my fucking God, you might want to bolt that rack to the floor. All right. Yes, if I was using bands that were upwards in 100 pounds, 50 pounds, or whatever, you know, the weight might be, I would want to bolt it down. All right. So, disclaimer, if you guys using bands, you might want to bolt your shit down. As I've said, I'm not using really heavy bandage. All right, the band weights I'm using for the band, the fucking band poundage, whatever the fuck you want to call it, it's not heavy. I'm using it for dynamic effort, so it's not going to be super heavy. So I don't need to bolt it down. And even if another little trick you could do is, you have this here. This is the pull-up bar. All right, I mean not a pull-up bar, the dip bar. All right, you can smack this bad boy on there. All right, like so, and throw some fucking weights on it. All right. And it's pretty much going to hold it down on one side. All right. All right. I'll do some other videos on shit. I'm kind of just talking right now. I like to hear myself talk sometimes. I don't know if you guys knew it, but that right there, that really weighs. That's 800 pounds. I curl that. So that's pretty much it, guys. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll shut up now. Peace.